Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and this week we're going to be taking a look at a guitar that is new to me that I've never done a full demo on by itself of the model, and that is the Paul Reed Smith CE-24. Let's get this on the bench and see what it's all about. All right, this is the Blue Mateo finish. It is absolutely stunning. I love the grain in the wood combined with some of the flame and almost like a fade coming in a little bit lighter at the top of the horn here as it progresses into the body. Very nice looking instrument. As far as the components go, you get American made 8515 pickup, so no expense spared in that aspect. You have a push-pull for the coil splitting that works for both pickups at once. You can't independently control them like you can on a model like the 2408 or like a 594 where you have two separate volume and two separate tone knobs per pickup. So one size fits all in that aspect. You have a three-way selector switch. You have the import, same one that comes on the SEs and the S2 bridge, as well as the locking tuners, but I don't see any problems with that. This guitar functions really well with both of those. Let's just see. Stable as always. All right, and in contrast to the top of this guitar, the back is much more subdued. It makes for a really nice combination of the two of them. You have this mahogany, and it's a very beautiful grain to it. Now, all of these plastic pieces are not recessed into the body like they are on the core counterparts. This is no different than the S2 version. Some people, it bothers them. Me, when I'm sitting and I'm actually playing, I don't notice it all too much. All right, I figured while we were already taking a look at the back of the guitar, why not have a closer look at the electronics themselves? This is your full-size volume pot. This is your tone, which has the push-pull on it, which explains all of the other wires in case you've never seen that before. And then you have your three-way toggle switch right there. These orange ones right here, I wish these were a little bit better kind of taped together or kind of put off to the side like some of the other wires were, but in function and in practice, not really the end of the world. It works perfectly fine. All right, checking out the neck of this guitar. It is made of maple, but it has an East Indian rosewood fingerboard on it and a 10-inch radius. These fret ends are really smooth, par for the course for a Paul Reed Smith instrument. Now, this is no fault of this instrument on its own here, but after checking out the Core McCarty Wiesbird inlays, they just don't have that same kind of wow factor that the other one does. But what are you going to do? Almost twice the amount of money for one of the cores. Let's see how the frets are in terms of the level. And as I've come to expect from a Paul Reed Smith instrument, the frets are really well done, both in terms of the levelness and the actual feel of them. It has not much to say. They just get these little things that are very important right. And one thing I wanted to make a point of to do in this video was to actually measure the thickness of the neck at the 1st and the 12th fret. So right now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the strings off and see where it's at. All right, let's see. 0.90 at the 1st fret. 0.93 at the 12th fret. Now with the headstock, you have a nut that is a synthetic / bronze powder blend. You have the maple veneer with the PRS signature, the locking tuners that I alluded to earlier in this video. And this truss rod cover is not factory standard. This is something that I ordered that was handmade by somebody in Florida when I had owned my custom 24 10-top guitar. Hadn't had a use for it. I feel like it matches this one beautifully as it is a mermaid, and this blue finish, just good match. All right, everybody, as expected, this Paul Reed Smith CE-24 passed the bench test with flying colors. Got a good weight to it, 7 pounds, 12 ounces. I do prefer the fact that even though this is a pattern thin neck, it's a little bit thicker than a few of the other ones that I've had in of the same variety. However, there's only one problem with this guitar. That's gonna be, I can't play it. Needs strings. So I'm gonna go ahead, restring this thing up, and we're gonna hear what it sounds like through the Mesa Boogie Rectoverb. All right, everybody, we just heard some of the tones from this Paul Reed Smith CE-24 in the Blue Mateo. This finish is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's amazing that this is one of the regular finishes available now if you decide to purchase one of these models. I'm going to start with the good. The good is I love these pickups. These pickups might not be for everybody, but damn, they are so much better than the import ones that come on the SEs or the S2s. And it's really, really a good selling point for this guitar over one of the S2s, because now the S2 Custom 24s are almost $1,900. This one used, you can get one in mint condition at Dave's Guitar Shop for $14.99 whenever they come in stock. And I don't have any affiliation with that shop. It's just I know they flat price things, and you'd be crazy in my book to purchase one of those over one of these at that given price differences. However, the way that this guitar feels is slightly different than that. I like the neck on this specific CE-24 because it's a little bit beefier than the charcoal purple burst version I had, which was a very thin, it almost felt like a wizard neck. But those are things that are going to vary depending on sanding whenever you have guitars like this that aren't just printed off a CNC machine. And I mean, some people really think that's how all these guitars are made. That's not the case. There is some hands-on time to justify some of the costs of these instruments, but I mean, this one suits me much more. The tremolo on this thing is fantastic. It is the SE version. That doesn't bother me. Same thing goes for the tuners. Those aren't real things where I think to myself, the guitar is being held back. Whereas with the pickups compared to the S2, again, stress, it's a gigantic difference. Now, as far as the potential cons go, I say potential because it's going to vary based on what you like as a guitar player and what features that come with it or don't come with it are important to you. The neck is not a one-size-fits-all. Not everybody is going to love this neck. Not everybody does love this neck. This is the pattern thin neck. A few people that even love the brand wish that this came with a regular patterned neck, not just specifically the pattern thin, because on some of the older CE models, you had a pattern neck and it had a little bit more bulk to it, so to speak. This one reminds me more so of a modern kind of super shredder neck, although it's not really as thin as that. It's just kind of the approach to it. It feels really similar in that sense to me. And the second con, again, this might not be a big deal to you, but for $2,300 new, the fact that this comes with a gig bag, that's definitely not ideal. That's not ideal whatsoever. But then again, you have to consider John Mayer Silver Sky and the Mark Lettieri. I think both of those are $200 more than this guitar, and neither of them come with a hard shell case either. So yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Until you get to the core line, you ain't getting a hard shell case from PRS. But to wrap this up, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I believe the CE-24 is the best guitar for somebody who's played Fenders their whole life and they want something with a little bit more beef to it, but feels a little more at home than some of the other brands' offerings that, you know, do the kind of super strat thing. This is really hard to beat. The craftsmanship is fantastic. You have a tonal variety that is leaving you with not a whole lot to be desired, quite frankly. You'd have to be really going into very specific sounds for this thing not to be able to at least pull it off in a live or recording environment. Thing plays great, stays in tune great. It's a hell of a guitar. I would definitely recommend checking one of these out. But that's going to be where I'm going to leave you guys today. Not a whole lot left to say. This thing really speaks for itself. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the demo. Let me know what you think about the PRS CE-24, or just PRS guitars in general. I'm always open to hearing what you guys have to say. Leave a like on the video if you enjoy the content on this channel. That really does help me out. It helps more people to see these, and also subscribing. It doesn't hurt. We are approaching 3,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And I will see you tomorrow for a different guitar-related video. Thanks for all the support, everybody. Take care.